Tom, so a little mousy told me you've been playing a game called Mina the Hollower, is that right?
That's right. We got the full version in. Mina the Hollower's release date was announced for May 29th. The 6-year long wait is finally over.
My goodness, it has been a long wait, but Tom, has it been worth it so far?
Well, this is a preview, not a review, but I'm getting worried that Mina the Hollower is going to ruin Classic Zelda for me. That's how good it is. It's going to make me not appreciate Classic Zelda as much anymore. It's going to be like surpass it. That's my
Are
worry.
we including A Link to the Past in this?
Yes.
Dear God. Alright, so as Tom said, this is not a review. Of course, our thoughts are subject to change, but for right now, it sounds like Tom is having a great time with it based on your playtime so far, which I believe is, what, roughly the first 6 to 8 hours of the game, which is what we can talk about so far, is that right?
That's right. We can't talk about the other 7 hours I've done after that.
Alright, there we go. So Tom, tell me, what is it about this playthrough in particular? I mean, obviously you've been a fan of the game since you've been following it since it began development, but it seems like something from playing it in its entirety now, to the extent that we can discuss, has really tapped into something for you. So what is it about your playthrough of it now that you're appreciating more that you maybe weren't able to fully from the previews that we've done before?
There's just more time to appreciate all the little details in the game. Really soak in how the map all connects together. Like, we only had pieces of the map to play at different times, and some of the new areas that I didn't have a chance to play yet, like the Bayou. It's really impressive how it loops around and kind of builds off a Dark Souls type format where it loops around you. Like, instead of a ladder, you're dropping down ropes to come back to later. I got to play Dark Souls in 2024, so it's really neat to see it. I don't think I had played it yet in previous previews.
Alright, well that's good. So you mentioned the map. Is it like one giant interconnected map, or are there different like layers or regions? How's it work?
It's one super giant interconnected map, and it's kind of like a classic Zelda style. Mina the Hollower is very much like a top-down Zelda merged with Castlevania elements, and seeing that together, like just the way like a Zelda map usually feels more open as you're going along. Mina the Hollower feels super dense to me, and like everything has been meticulously placed and with care and like figured out by a level designer in terms of how everything's going to work. So it's just really impressive, all the detail Yacht Club Games have packed in this game, and the 6 years they've worked on it really shows.
Has there been any detail or two in particular that kind of stood out to you? Like, oh, I'm surprised they did this. Because for those who don't know, this game is kind of it has like a Game Boy Color-like art style. Obviously, it's not sticking entirely true to that. Like, the opening alone to this game, like, blows anything from the Game Boy Color away. You know, like, it's huge, giant-looking sprites, awesome parallax. It looked great. But it is trying to channel that Game Boy Color energy on a color palette, of which it does a good job overall. So that's kind of like the style it's going for, like a little bit Link's Awakening on the Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
So Tom, is there any like details, I guess visually or otherwise, that have kind of like stood out to you so far?
What stood out to me, it's not like a cutesy game. We kind of knew a little bit of this from the demos, but some of the NPCs, especially their avatar, are really creepy. I think the key is just to add like a ton of teeth in pixel art. That just makes it unsettling. They've really kind of nailed, it's not quite horror, but it's a creepy, unsettling vibe, like Majora's Mask taken to another level, almost.
You were telling me, I don't know if it's from a part of the game we can discuss or not, so don't answer if it is, if we can't discuss. But you're telling me there's a part of the game that you think my dad is also a gamer now,
Yes.
if he played it, would give him a heart attack? Can we?
I believe so, yeah. It almost gives me a heart attack every time we're allowed to talk about this character. This is like a super minor spoiler. I'm sure everyone's seen it. It's not like a story thing, but there is a creepy clown.
Oh no.
And you'll just be like, doop-a-doo, going along. And this is kind of like the surprise element that I love in Mina the Hollower. So many things like are just a surprise or unexpected. He'll like it just explode out of nowhere. I'd be like, oh Jesus! And it's like, then you'd be like, hey Mina, and he's like, he'll have this sort of creepy joke that's like kind of funny, but also just kind of very dark humor. And
Wow.
it's like, I'm not sure if I can laugh at that clown. And he'll be like, do you want to hear it again? And it's like,
No.
No.
Wow, that's impressive. A game, like a top-down game being scary is something I hadn't really, like, ever thought about. So that's actually pretty cool that it has elements of that. Also, speaking of scary, I was playing this game as well, but I also got a code. I haven't had much time to sink into it. I was playing a few minutes before this. And one thing that stood out to me immediately is this game isn't easy. I was getting my butt kicked right out the bat. Am I just bad at the game, Tom, or is this game actually difficult? And how was that, like, how was the, I guess not just difficulty curve, but, like, the idea of, I guess, because you can power yourself up in this game, right? So how's that feel as you go through the course of the game so far?
You just haven't burrowed into this game yet, or followed in.
Let's see what we did there.
I found even coming back to this game, the first 5 hours are a little bit tough. The Mina the Hollower, like burrowing around, it's kind of a risk-reward element. She handles more wildly underground, I find.
Like a little squirrely, I think you were telling me?
Yeah, squirrely, basically. A squirrely feeling. And you can jump about, I think they reveal later, it's like 2.4 tiles. One guy's like, try to jump further. And so you can jump that instead of just the usual one tile. And as a result, though, like trying to stick your landings to areas, it can be a bit tougher and dying. And also, the enemies at first, they are tough. Like I was getting whooped going through areas I had done in the past. Like in a preview, it's like, come on here. It's just, that's the way it is. You level up, you earn bones. It's very much like the Dark Souls style, where if you make it through after killing enough enemies to a checkpoint, you can level up, or if you die, you have to like get your spark back, which is basically your soul. Otherwise, you lose all that potential experience to level up with.
Isn't that a little similar to even how Shovel Knight worked, where when you died, you'd leave behind stuff you can collect on your next playthrough, right?
Yeah, you could pick up money that you left behind, and you could also do like a risk reward thing by smashing a checkpoint, and that way, like if you died, just you're way further back, but you'd earn more points.
So
they were kind of building off that game.
Right, so are you seeing like a lost Shovel Knight in this game too, or there's a heritage thereof, or does it feel very much like its own distinct thing and not really all that connected to Shovel Knight? I mean, it's not, as far as I'm aware, it's not connected at all in a lore sense, but in a development sense, does it feel similar, or?
The thing that gives it the most sense are the puns. It's like they can't resist themselves. The puns are still there, folks. Don't worry.
Excellent. Good. That's all that matters.
But just the meticulous level of care, like going through that first demo scene, if you whip one of the cots, it'll spin around like this in pixel art. I'm like, guys, you did not have to go that hard.
I missed that. I was already just blown away by seeing the cots like rock on the boat, you know, without even trying to interact with them. But that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, there's lots of details like that. Like there's this mirror you can look into that's probably some weird secret later. Like going through the town itself, like it feels like there's a lot of well done crafted stories to like dive into. It's like its own Clockwork Town almost from Majora's Masks.
That's amazing. I love Clock Town, yeah.
Yes. And other than that, like some of the there are some puzzles. Kind of like the puzzles I find are like a puzzle in how to traverse through a level. That's kind of the main thing. Like you can kind of think one way, but you have to sort of flip a switch to think about burrowing under enemies or burrowing through parts. Like what would be the best route? Because sometimes there's like a best route and a quick route, and getting used to just the different mechanics of Mina the Hollower. Like in the bayou, you can fall into water, but you can burrow through the water, kind of like if you're swimming through it, and make it through areas that otherwise you would, drown in.
Wow. So how much has your moveset changed or evolved as you've been playing the game so far? Or is it pretty much the same as when you began, or have you really kind of like developed new skills or have new weapons at all? Or how does that work? I think, I know you can change weapons throughout the course of the game at the least. So how's that process been?
I think so. In the early section, I've just been using one weapon. I stuck with the whip. I had used the knives in a previous preview because they're the quickest. And the hammer I did use a bit later, and I've gotten a bit more used to it. Like a giant hammer that's you're pretty slow to move with, and you can kind of like do one pixel dashes, or like one tile dashes. It really shows how much the gameplay will be mixed up later on. And there are trinkets that you can arm. A trinket will kind of change your abilities, or like some of them, like if you're having a tough time, one of them will bring you back to life once. Other ones will change your movement a bit. There's also a ton of modifiers in Mina the Hollower, so it's like definitely a huge amount of thought has been put into replaying this game.
Just because of how variable it is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
that's what I'm getting at. Basically, lots of different weapons and lots of different equipment to upgrade with, and like change how you play the game.
That's awesome. Is there anything else about this game, Tom, we need to touch on that we haven't already for the preview that people may not know about it?
No, just it really shows the amount of effort that Yacht Club has put into it so far, I think, and I think there's a ton of surprise and delight in this game. Like they follow Nintendo's example a lot of times, and I think they really put that in spades. Use a Yacht Club term for this game.
Well, that's awesome to hear. That's great. So, there you have everyone, our preview of Mina the Hollower. We'll have more as we get closer to its release with our full review, of course, and perhaps even more. So, with that, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to GameXplain for more. Click subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you later. Bye, everyone.